Thanks everyone for coming. This is Adjusting to Life in the US. We have our awesome panelists here. We're going to be talking about kind of social adjustment, things like that. So we're going to hear about their experiences. Everyone here has immigrated either permanently or temporarily to the US. So I think that they'll have a wide range of experiences to kind of talk about. So first we'll do some introductions. My name is Andrew Winters. I manage the Center for Student Success. I will hand it off to our panelists. Go ahead, give us your name, what country you're from, what your role here is at WUSD, and how long you've been in the US. And I'll let whoever wants to kick it off first.
Hello everyone, my name is Arman. I'm from Kazakhstan. I work in admissions, international admissions lead, admissions officer. I've been in the country for 6 years, I think, and then that's about it.
Hello everybody, thank you for being here, and I'm super excited to share a little piece of my journey in the US and how I'm adjusting to the life in the US. So first of all, my name is Orongwa, and you can call me Yuri and Uri, either way you can call me. So I'm a current cybersecurity master's student at this university, and I'm also a former student ambassador. Have been working for almost a year, and which was like huge experience. Yeah, I've been living in the US for 2 years, like almost 2 years, a year and 6-7 months. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Alex John Luketa. I'm from Tanzania. I've been in the US for more than 15 years. So I'm working in WST as post-admission manager. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Janet Chang. I've been here doubling Alex time, more than 30 years. And I'm the Director of Student Services responsible for admissions and career services. And if you're a student at WST, hopefully you will take advantage of our career services. We have the Interstride, and we're also going to adopt another platform. I know the job market is tough, and hopefully we can help you weather that together.
Hi everyone, my name is Chloe, and I'm from South Korea. I'm currently a finance and accounting intern at here WST, and I have been US for about 8 months. It's an honor to be here with all of you. Thank you.
Great. So we'll just go right into questions. Please feel free, anyone who wants to start us off, don't feel pressure to answer every single question. We can just pass it around. I'm curious, what was your biggest culture shock you experienced when you first arrived here? Anybody?
Okay, for me as first time when I came, I think it was loneliness. That is something that I experienced because I'm from Tanzania, and our life over there is very social. So when I came here, I didn't have any friends at the beginning. So I think that it was my biggest part, challenging.
Yeah, the loneliness.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very good question, which is answered by all the international students like us, right? So when I first arrived in the US, I thought I had done all the research about this country, like such as the language. I thought I knew the language. I thought I could speak English, or I could communicate with English-speaking people, but I wasn't right. It was so hard to understand the fast-paced English conversation. Had no idea like what people talk about. It was like challenging and shocking for me. also the currency and the weather. And then what I was really prepared for was like how big everything felt like massive highways, a big portion of food, you know, like even the idea of small talk with strangers in the elevator, like people are so friendly and like smile at me all of a sudden. And then, right, but in Asian culture, we're not as friendly as Americans, right? So yeah, and so over time, like I began to blend in, started expressing myself like more proudly, and like for example, like I started ordering my coffee like a local. Yeah, can I have this and that, right? Yeah, my journey in the US was actually filled with awkward moments, but it made me like more open, more flexible, and like culture shock became my culture growth. Yeah.
Great.
I feel like I had too many cultural shocks in the country, that's for sure. My first state in the country was the beautiful state of Florida. As you may imagine, too many cultural shocks from food, social life, language, athletics, everything. But I feel like one of the biggest ones, personally for me, it was how early they have dinners, right? So usually people go to dinner around 5 or 6 p.m., which was a bit difficult for me to adjust because I had to go with my classmates, my friends, my professors. And then a couple hours later, of course, you'll get hungry again around 8 or 9 p.m. and then you have to munch more. So yes.
What time do you have dinner in Kazakhstan?
Around 9 p.m., 8:30, 9, and then you spend another hour having conversation with your family, eating food, and then desserts, and then drinks, etc., etc. So it just lasts about like an hour, hour and a half. Whilst in America, in Florida, at 5 p.m., 5:30, you're already in the kitchen with the students. Felt like a light lunch for me as well.
Great. Does anyone want to add any culture shocks they experienced?
Yes, maybe I have a few things to add. From the learning side, the university side, I think I got adjusted quite quickly. But when I came, I stayed with an American family in Vienna, arranged by the university. And the husband worked for Apple, and the wife stayed at home. And they have 2 children. So I had to learn how to use the washer and dryer. That was an experience. And then we take turns doing the laundry. That was also an experience. And then I learned how to use the stove, how to take the trash out, and their son David mowed the lawn, and then the parents would pay him for it. So those are very wonderful and new experience for me, and I enjoyed that period to 100%.
Yeah, I've never thought about it. That feels like a very American thing to pay your child an allowance for doing chores.
And the neighbors.
Does anybody else?
And the neighbors also.
Yes, would
Yeah.
hire like
He's
the
a very
neighborhood
cute,
kids and mow their
very
lawn.
cute
Yeah.
boy. He mowed the lawns and then he got paid. And then he would say, Janet, look, I have 85 pounds. That was
Yeah,
good
that's a lot.
at that time.
Yeah. Do you want to add any culture shocks you've experienced?
Yes. I came here for being an internship in here, and I really shocked when I came here first time because everyone just called their supervisor by their name, first name, because when I was in Korea, we need to be more polite to every seniors or older people than me. So it is still confused. Can I just waving my hands? Isn't it not a rude or? Yeah, that is my first culture shock, and actually everything like weather and around this area, Virginia, there's a lot of Korean people, so I can find Korean food easily and Korean people a lot. But the different things is the first day when I came the apartment, I tried to turn on the light, but so I pushed the switch, but nothing's happened. There's no light in my apartment, so it was really shocked for me. And then the restroom. The gap in the restroom is too.
In the door.
Yeah, door is too big for me. So still, I think it's not keep the privacy to people. Yeah, that's all.
Great. So we'll move on to our next question. How did you go about making your first friends here, and what kind of helped you feel more connected to the people you met here? Anyone who wants to start?
Okay, I'll start. This one is very easy for me to answer because I have vivid memories. When I came, I was the only international student in my class. So all my classmates were Americans. So they were curious. So I made friends easily because they wanted to show me around. There was a classmate. He worked for a private high school and he loved Chinese food. So he said, Janet, let me take you to the restaurants that I think the food is good and you be the judge. So I enjoyed a semester of very good Chinese food from different local Chinese restaurants. And additionally, many other classmates extended their warm hands to me.
Okay, thank you. So to my side, I think it was a little bit easier when I came. The class that I was attending, it was international business, and my class was very diverse students from different parts of the countries. So it was so easy for me to make friends. And I remember my first friend was from Senegal. His name was Amadou Ba. So as soon that he heard me, I'm from Africa, Tanzania. So he became my friend because he's from Africa, in West Africa. So, and after that, we started communicating with other people. We want to learn to each other from each country. And at that time, I think Professor McRobinson was my professor. He tried to ask us like we can learn through each other. Like we should interact with each other. The diversity is good. He tried to learn because it was international business. So from that year, I created a lot of friends from my class, and I think that it was the foundation of everything. Because after that, from my class, we formed a volleyball team of the school. So we started practicing volleyball every weekend and all this kind of stuff. So that was my experience of friendship in school.
Thank you. So actually, making friends is the scariest and the most rewarding parts of the journey. So when I was working at the school, I will never forget the moment. And then two of my friends, like who invited me to sit with them during the meeting. So like we eventually bonded over like how confused we were during the class, during the meeting. You know, we had the same problem, like we had the same challenges, and then we understood each other well and helped each other. And actually, like that moment turned into friendship. That friendship connected me to like more people. And then, you know, like whether it was going to the event, like cultural events or professional events, you know, like each connection helped me to build something that felt like my home. And then I'm so thankful for the people I met here, especially my friends and my mentors and my employers and professors as well. Yeah, thank you.
We'll go ahead and move on to the next question. What's something you wish you had known about U.S. social life before you got here?
I didn't get it. Can you tell me one more time?
Yeah. What's something you wish you had known before you got here?
Well, in China, there are similarities to Korea. When you go out, when you do things, there's always a order of the older, the person has a higher position, or there's a subtle ways of arranging the order of things. So oftentimes you will go out, and then when you go out for dinner or lunch, the most influential person, the most important person, or the oldest person will pay. So I wish I had known that the Go Dutch thing, yeah. And also the other thing is, when you go out, if I invite my friends, that means I pay, yeah. Or oftentimes, if there's a slightly older male, and that male person will pay. So that's very subtle way of doing it, but the Going Dutch thing, nowadays it starts to become more normal, but many years ago, it didn't exist. So my first, when I went out with a classmate who was asking me to try the Chinese food, he paid every single time. So I had the impression that it's the same here in the United States. Right, boy, later I got surprised by that. And then I learned doing it, but it took some time before I became accustomed to it. So I wish I had known.
For anyone who doesn't know what Going Dutch means, it means like splitting the check at a restaurant.
Okay, I feel like the biggest thing I wish I had known is how important academic life is in the US. It's not only, I know some students struggle socially, trying to make friends, right? Trying to go out, see the country, see the state they're in. But I wish I had known the importance of getting internships as well during the summer. That's one thing. I wish I had known the importance of getting several certificates that will help you along the way. Not only while you're a student, but once you graduate as well. So my social life in the school was pretty active. I was in a fraternity. I was a club soccer member. But then one thing I truly regret is, I think, not doing enough internships and not meeting enough.
More professional contacts.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So yes.
I think that that's a common experience, not just for international students, but for American students as well, who graduate college and realize that they didn't fully utilize the time they had in undergrad to kind of make those connections with people, get internships, build up their professional life, because they're so preoccupied with the social aspects and going to class, and they kind of feel like, well, I'm putting in the work, I'm doing the minimum, but it is kind of the minimum. And to graduate and be like a competitive person in the job market, it really does take a little bit more than that. So that's a common experience, not just for international students, for sure. Great. So yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. What's up?
I just want to add something that I really, I'm sorry, I'm not one of the 10, but it's really, it hurts my feelings to see a lot of people from, my community or other communities who are immigrants, that they came without any knowledge of the basic rules and laws of the country, and especially under the current circumstances. I think we must know the basic rules and laws of like trespassing. I know
Right.
someone who got killed for trespassing. In our countries, it's fine to go in someone's driveway
Yeah.
to whatever
Yeah.
reason. And also like driving under alcohol.
Right.
Yeah, those kinds of basic rules and laws we really need to know before.
Definitely, and that's for traveling anywhere.
Yes.
You have to know for anyone online who's watching, someone in the audience said that she wishes that people who travel here know the laws and rules here. Like, you can't trespass in the US or someone could kill you, and they would be within their legal right to do that if it's private property. Driving under the influence of alcohol is illegal here, like all kinds of things that we really should be aware of when traveling to a new country, for sure, because it's dangerous to not know these things. Definitely. Great. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next question. How did you find or build a sense of community after arriving here, and were there any specific people or clubs or organizations or spaces that kind of helped you do that? I'm gonna pass the mic to Chloe.
When I first came here, I tried to, I should try to avoid speaking Korean as much as I possible because to improve my English skill. But after a few months, I feel really lonely. First time so at that time I realized that I need to talk with someone who can share my culture well. So after that, I joined a Korean board game club through the local community, and it can be. And finally, I feel like this area is real my home. So I want to recommend every people they need to make their community well because keeping a balancing with sorry.
That's okay. Take your time.
Keeping a balancing is really important. Speaking English well is also essential skills that you need to get. But the things is, first time you need to be comfortable in this area, and I recommend everyone they need to find their hobby or hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
think there is a balance between like exploring new things and meeting new people and finding things that are familiar and comfortable and safe. And it sounds like you found that. That board game group sounds very fun.
Yeah, I think most of the common mistakes that most of international students are doing, when we come, for example, I'm from Tanzania, I meet a student from Tanzania, so we become the same Tanzania community, we hang out together, the same students, and every time we are the same circle. So I think the only way to create a friendship to participate in these clubs, like maybe if you have been invited to Indian clubs, maybe you should attend Bangladesh clubs, and each country to learn different culture and different activities. And I think from there you can create more friends, and you can try to hang out with people different cultures. So I think we needed to get out from our circle for us to be able to create more friends and to be able to build the different friendship. Like the way I said it before, when I came to US, my class was very diverse class. So I met different people from different backgrounds. I was able to build a friendship from different countries. So I think that is the only way we need to encourage our international students. They should not be limited to the people from the same country.
Yeah.
That is the only thing.
Definitely. Does anyone want to add?
Okay, I guess when I came, that was a long time ago. Things were different. At Georgetown, at the time, there were not that many international students, but the international office had a fantastic program, which is host family or hospitality family. So there were about 10 or 12 of us who were placed with host families and hospitality families, all in the Vienna Falls Church area. And when I stayed with the family, all of us also went to church with them. And through the church, we got to know many other American families. Even after we all moved back or moved out of the families, I moved down to the graduate dorms. We still kept in touch. So on the weekends, we would have local trips, cookouts, picnics, yard sales. And one interesting thing that I forgot to mention earlier is when I stayed with the family, we used to also go out on the weekends to the yard sales. And the daughter and the mother saw something, they bought them. Saw something, they buy. And in the end, they have a big house with a big storage of everything. But they still have to find places and put things in there. And then the next weekend, we would repeat the same buying things. That was a very, very interesting thing as well. And so through the continuous connections and everything, I was able to have the experience of having the American friends, and then the few of us from China. At the time, we were all on U.S. University scholarships, so the funding was limited. One of us bought a car first, so we would go every 2 weeks to do grocery shopping together. So, and then we got connected to people from University of Maryland and things like that. So my time as a student, the community, the friendship was really, really very, very good.
Anyone want to add?
Okay, at first when I arrived in the US, I tried to fit in, but more I tried to blend in, the more I felt like I'm losing myself. So, eventually, I realized I didn't have to choose between who I was or what I was. I could be both. And then I started sharing my culture more proudly with others, and then inviting my friends to try my food and teaching them a few words from my language. And then we record each other to see how we pronounce the words from our language, which is fun part of our friendship. So that is why that's why when I truly connect with others, and as well as with myself. Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing I did back in my school, I became an active member of the international office called The World. So organizing different international events, sporting clubs, right? That was a place where I got to meet a lot of friends from around the world, including the Americans as well, because they were heavily active as well. The next thing I did, I became if we talk about the athletics, I became the club soccer member. That's where I got to meet a lot of my closest friends, whom I still in touch with. And I feel like just trying to, academics is academics, doing your homeworks and getting assignments on time. But since you're already in the country, I feel like exploring other, the American way of things, like the sports, classes, going out, other social activities, I think it's just as important to keep the work and study balance.
Definitely. Great. We'll go on to the next question. Do you face homesickness? And if you do, what helps you through it? And has that kind of changed over time for those of you who have been here longer?
Okay, honestly, homesickness hit me hardest. You know, when everything got quiet, like after class or during the weekends or during the holidays, or when I see my family like eating all together, like my parents and my son. It was like homesickness for me. And then I probably missed my people, my language, and my routine. But on top of that, I more struggled with communication. I knew what I wanted to say, but words didn't come out right. So there are moments I got quiet, silent, stayed silent, having fear of misunderstood, But over time, I practiced, ask my question, trying to deal with it. So, and slowly the homesickness faded. The homesickness is not about your being being weak. It's about just you love your country, love where you're from. Yeah. Today, I look back at the time, those tough times, I feel proud of myself. Feel proud of yourself as well. We're just not surviving, right? We're thriving. This is the gift of struggle. Yeah.
I think to get the homesickness is when you get used to certain kind of life, and then when you come here, you attend your classes after classes, you don't have anything else to do, so you start feeling that homesickness. But once you figure out what to do, maybe after class, maybe you have to go maybe gym, or you have to go to play soccer, or to play volleyball, or to do any kind of activities. I don't think if you feel in very hard way, but I think also as international students, once you come, maybe you become busy with friends, with activities, and then maybe during any annual break, you try to visit your country once, and once you come back, I think you'll never get that homesickness again. That is the only thing I can say.
Okay. I think everyone feels some type of homesickness, but when you have to take 3 classes, each class would have 5 or 6 books of 500 to 1,000 pages, you really don't have the luxury or to be homesick. And at that time, things were not as modern. So I remember I bought some cards. When I truly feel a little bit lonely, I would write and then mail the cards to people here and to people in China. And then I would work really hard and then travel to different parts of the US or to Europe and other countries. That was my way.
Yeah, I still miss my home and my family, friends in Korea, but and I think the key point is I need to try to build my small community in here. So 2 years before I studied at Guam for exchange students, but at that time I can't drive anywhere. I don't have a car and there is no transportation well. So in this time, before I came US, I tried to learn driving. So nowadays, I can meet my friends anytime I want. And I can, if I have any free time, then I can travel around near here. So I think it helps me a lot to build my own community more well. So
Great, yeah. I think a lot of you touched on this. It's like what makes you miss home a little bit less is when you have people here. Yeah. Great. We'll go on to the next one. Have you ever felt pressure to kind of fit in or change who you are? I know, Arango, you already kind of mentioned this. And how do you kind of navigate that balance between fitting in, meeting expectations, but like staying true to who you are? It's a big one. I'll let you guys think.
I'll try to start. It's very hard to describe. When I came, again, there were not as many international students. And because I was an English major, so my classmates are Americans. I think 1 year later, there was someone from India. So there were the two of us from somewhere else, and everyone else from the United States. The classmates were truly nice and friendly, but when I went to places, I was often the one that looked different. So that there was always curiosity on a regular basis. It wasn't really a problem, but it was a regular trying to tell people where I came from, what China was like, and then there was so little information about China, and China at that time just started to develop. So sometimes some people would say things like, "Oh, you don't look like someone from China, you look like someone from Singapore." And I'm like, is that a compliment? Yeah? So there were situations, and then, but after 4 or 5 years, that changed. But when I was the only one, when I was asked many questions, there would be times I felt a little bit tired of trying to explain who I am and why I'm here and what I'm doing here. But as time went on, things became much easier.
Anybody else?
I feel like there is never pressure from anyone to fit in somewhere, right? Like socially, culturally, it's just like it comes to a question if you yourself personally want to do it. But in my personal life, when I first moved, when I first came to the country for my bachelor studies, maybe there was some kind of pressure, especially from your peers, to do some not so well things, right? Just to like kind of fit in, just to show how cool you are. But once again, I feel like whenever you move to a new place, not only America, I think it's a human instinct, human nature to kind of like this desire to be accepted by people, right? So, like personally, me, I never felt any kind of pressure, but I strongly suggest students, especially international students, when they first arrive to the country, to avoid it at all costs, just to get accepted by some society. That's it.
Yeah, and I would add to that, I think that a lot of people value authenticity, especially when they're trying to like make friends. Like they want someone who's real. And so like if you are feeling pressure to be someone different, maybe that's not the friend for you. And that can be hard to reckon with in and of itself, but there are absolutely people who will love you for who you are, and it's just a matter of finding them. Great, so we'll go on. Can you share a moment where you felt like you truly belonged here? Or belonged where you were at the moment? I can see the wheels turning.
Okay, I guess I just have a lot of gratitude for my university, right? moment I truly felt I belonged here. Towards the end of my studies, there was a choice of writing a dissertation or taking 2 extra classes. And I was trying to decide which way I should go. Writing a dissertation for me at the time was easy. I'm a reasonably good writer, but I thought if I could take 2 more classes, I would have another 2 classes of classmates and professors. So I went to my advisor and I said, professor or doctor, and blah, 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 blah. And then he said, that makes perfect sense. So he stood up and he said, okay, let's just go and walk over to the Graduate School of Sciences and Arts. And we walked over, and then he was talking to the lady at the reception, blah, 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 blah. And the lady said, wait a minute. So she went in, and in 3 or 4 minutes, she came out and she said, all set, your scholarship has been extended, everything is fully covered, and congratulations. So that was really a very touching moment. I felt I belonged.
Anybody else want to add? Okay. Great, and this is kind of our last moderator question. If you could give one piece of advice to your past self when you first got here, what would it be?
Just one thing I will say to myself: be smart be smart academically and socially, and then don't do anything stupid. That's it. Especially
if you pass advice, it would be don't do anything stupid.
that would be my only advice to my old self. And then just one more thing. I cannot stress enough the importance of being heavily involved in student life. Right, that's joining university clubs. I see a lot of posters on the elevator. They spread throughout the whole building. The growth this university right now is going through, with a number of different clubs coming up. Right, I saw a spike ball, and then I saw soccer, table tennis, even writing lab. I don't think people have any idea how many friends you can make actually just by going to a writing club, right? And then ask for advice from your peers, from your students who are actually employed there as of now as well. Being active with your professors, asking too many questions, never be shy to ask questions, never think too small of yourself when applying to big companies for internships, and then utilizing and then taking advantage of all of the university resources. That's the employment portal like InterStride that we give to our international students, the library resources, active social clubs, all these things I think there is no doubt it's gonna pay off in the future. There is no doubt about it.
Does anybody else want to share advice to your past self?
I just want to remind myself and everyone here that people in America are truly, truly kind, generous, and open-minded. And it's very important for us, or for everyone who hasn't been here very long, to try to see things from their perspective. If you approach things with good intentions, with a kind heart, you will receive equally so. So that's very, very important. People here are nice, and let's not forget that. Yeah.
Great. We'll go ahead and move on to any social media questions that we might have gotten. I know for sure we have at least one. Does anyone want to talk about what it's like what it was like looking for your first job in the US, what it was like working in your first job, and kind of share what that experience was like?
Okay, for me, my first job in the US was at university, at school. So school always provide opportunities, and school always share a lot of opportunity. I can say example WST. We share a lot of CPT jobs, job fair, career fair, on-campus employment. But most of the students sometimes they don't read the email. For example, they don't open the email. They only open once they see on-campus job employment. But they don't open another maybe CPT. Even if they are eligible for that, they don't want to try. They don't want to try to apply. The only thing I normally tell the student, try to apply. Example, if you qualify for CPT, you see there's a job opportunity, read the job description, you see, you understand that you can do something, try. If you try, you miss it, you'll try another time. If you try, you get it, it is good for you, you add another experience. That is the most important thing I can say. It costs nothing to try, more than staying, you didn't try anything. That is the only thing I can say.
Yeah, we have an expression in the U.S. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So take your shot, because you might make it.
Earlier times, job opportunities were more plentiful than they are today, generally speaking. But it doesn't matter when the economy is good or when the economy is bad. There are always jobs available. And one thing, if there's anything I want to truly tell anyone is, it's very important. In Rome, do as the Romans do. In America, do as the Americans do. This doesn't mean that you need to lose your identity. You may speak English with an accent, but it doesn't hurt to take an accent reduction class to speak like an American. You can speak the way you are, the way you do, or the way Americans do. It's one way to fit in, it's another way not to keep reminding constantly that you are a foreigner, you are from someone else. If we are talking about truly fitting in, we should be able to have the dual role of doing things like the Americans, doing things like yourself. That means you're capable of two cultures or two different things. That way, I think it would be easier to find jobs overall. It's not for anyone to lose your identity. It is for you to enhance yourself with additional skills to become more competitive, to become more like, if I'm an employer, I really don't care where you're from, but rather whether you can fit. Yeah, you're the best fit for the job or not. If you're the best fit for the job, I would rather choose you than someone else who does not. So just keep that in mind. Learn to have strong skills. Learn what Americans do best in the career path and everywhere else.
Anybody else want to add? Okay. I'll move on to the next question. This one's kind of tricky, but how would you kind of, if you have children, like how would you try to engage them in a new culture or in life in the U.S. and yeah, like if anyone can speak to what it's like to raise children here. I know not everyone here has children, but yeah, I think this is going to Alex.
I think to raise children here is something that it really takes your time. So you need to adjust your time very well, because you need to arrange your time for your kids and you need to arrange time for yourself to do some kind of stuff. Because maybe I'm working here, but after that maybe in the evening you need to take your child somewhere to play, maybe the park, maybe weekend, sports and all those kind of stuff. So I think you adjust your time, everything goes according to your time, your plan, and it should be that way. That is the only thing I can say.
Yeah, I think especially if you don't have family here, I think a lot of people rely on family to help raise their kids. So if you don't have family here, I think definitely like finding other social opportunities for your kids is, and like where are they gonna go when you know grandma and grandpa can't watch them? So like where are you gonna, who's gonna watch them while you're busy?
Yeah, and everything, you know, in America, everything you have to pay for it. So even
Right.
if
It's expensive.
so even if you are taking maybe a kid to sports or to playground, you have to pay. You have to pay everything. Daycare, you have to pay. You need to take your kids maybe to playground where there's a good playground
Right.
with the other kids and everything. You have to pay for it. So everything you have to pay. So that is the only thing I can say.
Yeah.
Everything
It's
is
expensive to have
it is
children.
costly.
Great. So we've got someone has a this is more of a technical question, but has a son on a tourist visa. So how would she go about changing status? Possibly to F2. I'm not sure exactly, but how would you go about changing?
Okay, there will be a DSO hour tomorrow. That may be a more appropriate platform to answer that question. Okay, I can answer that question here. Changing status is legally allowed, but it's generally not recommended for several reasons. One, you're changing status here in the United States. As long as you stay here, you're fine. But if you travel outside the United States, you will still need to apply for a visa to return. So you have to analyze your situation and see which option you should choose from. And it's truly a very complicated, lengthy answer. I don't want to give partial information. Right now, I am giving partial information in general. So if you need more answers, join the DSO hour tomorrow.
Yes.
Mhm.
What time will that be?
12 to 1.
Perfect. Join online. Great. So we'll open it up. Does anyone here have any questions for our panelists? Anything you haven't heard them talk about that you would like to hear? Anybody want to share anything? And final thoughts. One. Oh, Chloe, go ahead.
This is closing, right?
Yeah, so I was gonna say, kind of final thoughts. You can also add whatever you'd like to add. What advice would you give to any international students who feel lonely or isolated right now?
Oh, actually, the thing I want to say is don't be shy to say hello to everyone. And what is your question?
Any advice,
Advice?
for students who feel lonely or isolated?
Feel lonely? Yeah, that's the same things because I'm really shy to say hello to everyone. But I think this America is really has a lot of kindness people and everyone is open-minded. So if you want to be friends with someone, then just try to approach them.
Great.
Yeah.
Loneliness. That's a common feeling, and the only advice that I can give is to remember we are the driver of our own cars, right? So come out of your shell, go out and make friends, or find a job, or study hard. I think sometimes there's the tendency when situations are better, when conditions are good, we lose the level of tolerance. It's very easy for us to be not happy about something. I think it's important for us to look at things in a holistic perspective and think how many people out there that do not have even enough food, clean water, and how fortunate we are to be able to live in good conditions, have opportunities to learn, to study, to work. I know it's easy for me to say that, but I want to remind all of us to appreciate what we have and become stronger and help those in need. And that truly can help us relieve ourselves from the unnecessary negative feelings. When we have too much time on our hands, we have a tendency to develop that. Let's become better, stronger, more capable people and help those who are in need. That would be my final recommendation for coming out of loneliness.
Okay, thank you. I think for me, my advice for all international students, example, that's what I think where I'm from. So I will give to my advice for all international students. Number one, as international students, there's always the university try to provide to you all the resources that they can help you. The school is doing for you, they are not doing for them. So always as international students, if you maybe you volunteer yourself maybe only 1 hour to check your emails, you'll get something to do. And probably you get some activities like Almani already said, probably sport activities or anything that you like. And also, I'm sure even school sometimes they are receiving recommendation activities. Maybe you think something can work it out, you can reach out to the maybe career service or student active service to introduce your idea, probably to work to other people. So always the school is opening to every student and they are ready to receive any kind of recommendations. And another thing I'll say to all international students, to try to interact with different people. They should not stay with the same group of the people, because if you stay in the same group, you don't learn anything new. You have to learn from other people. You have to get to know a lot of things. And another thing, don't be afraid to try, because if you don't try, you're the one who is losing. But if you try, you get it, it will be better. I remember even when I started to work at school, I tried to apply the job and I got it. Even my first scholarship, I tried to apply scholarship. It was full tuition fee for the entire master's program. I got that scholarship. So don't be afraid to try. And another thing I can say, don't be afraid to ask, because sometimes some people knows a lot of things. So you may say, oh, I have this question, who should I ask? Try to ask even your friends, maybe I don't know this. Don't pretend to know why you don't know. That it will be better for you, because we have seen even in our school, some of the students are failing some of the classes because they don't ask. Some of them, they have been out of status because they don't follow up. So those kind of the things are very small, but they have big impact to your status or to your academic lifestyle. That is the only thing I can say to every international student. Thank you.
Okay, as a perspective of international student, so the advice that I would like to give for the international students who are feeling lonely or unsure about anything, so please know this, you're not the only one. You're not meant to be perfect, right? So it's okay to not to know everything right away. Everyone's journey looks totally different, but feelings are shared. So, but I would say, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to introduce yourself or to say, I don't know how to do this. In my experience, joining this discussion is one of the biggest, thing that I'm afraid of. I'm scared of, like public speaking. I think I cannot do it, or I'm not good at. But I keep doing the things I'm afraid of until I can do it. So yeah, and I would say where you're not just adjusting to a new country, you are like growing into a new version of yourself. So that's the thing to be proud of. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, I just want to add to what Ms. Jana just said. I think loneliness is a feeling that comes from within, and this feeling usually comes when comes when you just by yourself think about too much. I feel like when you're doing in bachelor's, for example, or master's, you're just academically busy with 3, 4, 5 textbooks to read, a lot of assignments to do, a lot of papers to write. You simply just don't have time to feel lonely, I think, right? Especially apart from school, you also have to be busy in your social life. That's just I feel like if people do this whenever they around the company and they're busy with the schoolwork, the loneliness might just fade away slowly. But when at times when you truly feel lonely, I feel like it's important to remember the long-term project that you're working on. That's finishing your job, getting a degree in the US, and then applying for jobs, internships, getting a valuable professional experience, and then just either go back home or continue your professional journey in the country. I feel like that's a bigger picture a lot of students should focus on. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you, everybody. Please give a round of applause for our panelists. Thank you for sharing your experiences. And to everyone here, please get coffee, get a snack. Yes.
Can I add something?
Yeah, of course.
You guys talk about different clubs, like sport clubs. Do we have any online club? Because I live in Tennessee, so I'm not able to be in the clubs here. So I'm just wondering if we have any online.
We have chess club, so they are playing online. So I can help you to register if you like.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
And if you are interested in starting any new clubs, please let us know. We can, if you get enough people interested, we can help you start a new club, and you can do online activities and get connected and do all that stuff too. Everyone attending online, thank you so much. You do not get any pastries or coffee, so come in person next time. And I think that's it. Thanks everyone for coming.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
Andrew.
you.
Yeah.
Everybody.